It's doing something. And we're live.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man, I did not expect my Monday to be this joyous as a fan. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
You had a victorious Sunday. I can't speak for good old Sam. I'm sorry, Vince over there
Vince.
in Disneyland right now, but it's okay. He's celebrating another happiest place on earth type of situation here. So, yeah, let's get into it, man.
Yeah,
Let's
let's do
wrap the
some
bat here.
scores.
Let's talk some scores. So, Tim, whenever you're ready, throw those on up here and let's roll, baby. Good to go? Yes, sir. All right. Our Thursday night started off crazy with the Bills versus Dolphins. Bills take the win 31-10. Biggest thing to take away from that is Tua. And he has announced that he is going to come back to play football some more once he gets approved by medical doctors. So, what are your thoughts on that one, Sam?
It's really sad that he got concussed with a hit that didn't really seem like it was a hit that should have caused as much damage.
Yeah.
So that's the concern. I it's not my decision to make. I don't think it's anybody's decision to make, whether he plays or retires. I hope his family is strongly encouraging him to retire and to think about this, because it seems like it's getting worse. I don't think fans want to see a guy um, get messed up on the field, and we definitely, just want to see somebody, be healthy. But it just seems like it's going to be a career injury prone thing. Um, I don't know. It's tough to take that decision away from the man, but it's getting scary.
Yeah, I think at this point, what he's four concussions within the last 4 years or so, going back to 2019. So they're piling up, man. I don't
That we
know.
know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he definitely could have more.
Yeah,
So you know, I think personally, he's what got 100 million guaranteed, no matter what. Sometimes you probably have to look at the picture and be like, what's better for the longevity of my life, my family? Is it worth it to not be able to remember certain things for your family's life, your children, things of that nature, just to play football? I don't know if it really is, but I hope so that he can find some solace and stop, with these concussions. But you know what they say, when you get one, it's like super easy to start getting another one after that. It just roll off like that. So,
absolutely.
um, to going on to Sunday here, me and you were at the good old bar on Sunday watching some games here. So the Buccaneers beat the Lions 20-16. The Saints put a whooping on the Cowboys 44-19.
Woo! It got steamrolled.
Absolutely. The Packers come on in, and unfortunately, the for the shoe, the Colts didn't get the win here. They lose 16-10. The Seahawks, in a thrilling overtime kick here, beat the Patriots 23-20. The Toilet Bowl, the Commanders beat the Giants 21-18. The Chargers put the whooping on the arguably worst team in NFL, 26-3 on the Panthers. And they said that they're going to bench.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's benched against the Raiders next week.
It doesn't make
Bryce
any
Young.
sense. Yeah. I mean, 2023 number one pick, and you bench him after 2 games? What are we
Ugh.
doing?
I think that's an admission of we made a mistake.
Yeah.
Abort.
Probably should have. You know what? I wonder though, because there's talks that they wanted to get Shroud, right? That's what Reich wanted, and they didn't. Obviously, they went with um, with their guy here. But if Shroud did go to Carolina, I mean, would he be just as terrible right now as we're looking Carolina being right now?
I
Like,
think
I
he'd
don't.
be just as bad.
You think so?
I think
Yeah,
so. I mean, the roster just looks bad.
yeah,
They gave up a lot to move up and get that number one spot. So then you don't have a lot of draft capital to backfill your roster or put any other young talent with it. So,
yeah.
they're not in a good spot.
It's crazy. The Vikings came away with an upset win, 23-17 over the 49ers. Sam Darnold, baby. I mean, what can you say? Although JJ looked like he was limping at the end of the game, hopefully he's not injury or isn't going to be on the IR or anything of that nature. It seems to be like a crazy week of injuries. I mean, you got AJ Brown is now out tonight for the Eagles, who they're playing the Falcons tonight.
Yep.
You've got Pacheco out with that leg injury. You got Cup out with the foot injury. You got Puka out with the foot injury. It's just Debo's now out with a leg injury. It's just crazy, man. I don't know what's going on here.
I think a lot of it has to do with the conditioning of the preseason. We talked about it a little bit of, that balance of if you get up to 20 regular season games and you get rid of 2 preseason games is there's going to be a lot of early football that's not very good
Right.
because these guys aren't conditioned. They're not ready for it. And all the big news pundits today were talking about that you got to train your body. Your
Mm-hmm.
body has to be ready, and I just think we're seeing that across the league that guys' bodies are not ready.
Yeah. The Browns come away with the W here, 18-13 over the Jags. The Jets win over the Titans, 24-17. Calamari and the Cardinals get the win against the Rams, 41-10. The Chiefs. The Chiefs just won't stop winning. 26-25 over the Bengals. The Steelers, 13-6. God, just 10 wins. Lock it in, baby. Texans come away with the victory over the Bears on Sunday night, 19-13. And let's get to it, man. The Raiders beating the
Yeah.
Ravens, 26-23.
You always have hope that your team is gonna shock the world any given Sunday, right? Whatever cliches you want to use. Um, I did not think the Raiders were gonna go across to face the Baltimore Ravens and beat them. Not with the offensive showing that we saw last week. Um, with that said, they got the win, which was great. It was
Yeah,
a defensive effort. I know 23 points, but the defense made the plays when they needed to. The offense in the second half came out and they started to find 2 playmakers, Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers. So in this showcasing, you really saw why they took Brock Bowers at 13. You
yeah,
see Devontae Adams is still a legit number 1. Just put it anywhere near him, you got a high probability that he's going to make a play on the ball. And you had Jacoby Myers and other players make timely catches when they needed to. I think defensively, teams they're going to take away the run. You got running backs that aren't really proven. You let Josh Jacobs go. So that running game is non-existent for the Raiders. The
mhm,
offensive line is awful.
yeah,
Colton Miller does not look like Colton Miller right now. I think if you gave any quarterback behind there a little bit of time, you're going to be able to hit some plays. You're going to be able to hit some guys because their skill position players are still really good. They have good players. You saw that in the first half. Minshew's running around. We were laughing at it. He was what, 8 or like 25 yards or something ridiculous.
yeah,
He comes out in the second half. It's a whole different quarterback, the whole different team. It was a great moment where Max Crosby came over after the turnover and had his hand in Minshew's chest and said, "We got your back. We're going to get the ball back." And the defense put the team back in position to win. I think the Raiders overall are a good, well coached team. We talked about this when we were watching it. Since Antonio Pierce has taken over, penalties are way down. I don't even know if they gave up a penalty. Like,
yeah,
I don't even know. Like, I would have to look it up, but they didn't give up very many. Um, do you say a disciplined Raiders
yeah,
team,
yeah.
offensively, defensively? My entire life, they have been one of the most penalized teams, and to to see them buttoned up was great. They got the defense, they got special. Like, the Raiders are one of those teams. No matter what era, what generation, they're going to have a kicker and a punter. They finally got a defense. We just needed a little more out of the quarterback, but I think that starts with the offensive line. The
Yeah.
offensive line really needs to step up. And I know it's not Aaron Rodgers or Joe Montana or Tom Brady back there, but you got to at least give your guy a chance, whether it's Minshew or AOC. Give them a chance. Outside of these two games, the Raiders were only good in 2 quarters, and that was the 2 quarters against the Ravens
Yeah.
offensively. Um, you get a little bit of a break next week against Carolina, but hey, Andy Dalton can come in here and kick your ass too. So don't sleep on Carolina. You got to go out there and take care of business. Don't look ahead. I was doing that a little bit this morning. The schedule is a little bit in your favor if you're a Raider fan. If you are the Raiders, it's in your favor. It's there, especially until I think you see Kansas City week 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So you got a really good chance to stack some wins and maybe sneak in as a wild card. But you got to handle business. You got to get the offensive line in line. Pass the ball first. They're not going to respect the run until you start beating them with the pass. So I think that opening drive, whatever, with the ball, you got to come out pass happy, strike quick, strike fast, and make them respect the run.
Yeah, absolutely. Andy, Red Rocket over here, cock the red rifle, baby. He can come in and change up that whole game if he's on one. But again, don't sleep on him. I guarantee you that's what the Ravens did to the Raiders and bit him in the face. So
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, before we jump into our next segment here, again, we want to apologize, guys, that we usually do our pick'ems. I don't know what happened. We just forgot to do the last 2 weeks. So we're just going to pick up from week 3. But more importantly, Tim, our showrunner here, just told us that we got 50 subscribers. So thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thank you, Mark.
50.
So next milestone is another 50 up from that. So see if we can get ourselves to 100. So shout out to everyone who subscribed, who was joining. I appreciate that.
And if you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Tim, let's jump into the blank sheet here. So I know Vince isn't here this week. I might be able to get his picks in, tonight or tomorrow or whatnot for our week 3 pick'ems. So we got the number 1 game on Thursday night here: Patriots versus the Jets. Who are you taking over here?
I got to take the Jets. You got Aaron Rodgers back. You look somewhat respectable. You got to beat the Patriots, right?
Mm-hmm. I'd say so. I'm going to go with you on that one, and I'm going to say the Jets as well on this one here. So, and then we get to our slew of Sunday night games. First one we got is Giants versus Browns.
Oh my God, what a poo-poo bowl.
Yeah.
The Giants are really bad. The Browns are the Browns. I don't know, man. I feel like this is a way that this just seems like a really bad Brown season.
Yeah.
I'll go with the Giants.
You going with the Giants? I'm sticking with the Browns on this one. Alrighty. Eagles versus Saints. Now, I don't know what Monday night's going to look like, but this is a hell of a matchup right here. Obviously I'm going to be a homer, but by all means, pick whatever you'd like.
Yeah, I know you're taking the Eagles. I think the Eagles get the win tonight. The Saints, they're interesting. They put up a lot of points. But I think I won't respect the Saints until they actually beat a contender. And I think the Eagles are still a contender. So I'm going to take the Eagles in this.
Okay. Next, we got the Texans versus the Vikings. CJ Stroud versus Sam Sweet Dick Darnold.
I know the Vikings shocked the world. They shocked everybody. They're 2-0, but I think the Texans are just a better football team right now. Okay. They got everybody. They got from coaching all the way down. They're on the same page, so I'm going to take the Texans.
Okay. I am as well taking the Texans there with you, so we'll ride that one out together. Up next, we got the Broncos versus the Buccaneers.
The Broncos stink. The Buccaneers are a good football team. I wanted Baker Mayfield as a Raider. That was my quarterback, and he did amazing things last week. It was good to see him run the ball. Pass the ball was a lot of fun. Yes. Yeah. Bucks.
All right. Well, I'm right there with you. I'm on the Bucks train as well. or the pirate ship, I guess, in this case. Up next is the Packers versus the Titans.
This is another. I think the Packers are a better team right now, but I don't know if you're going to be able to keep winning with your backup quarterback in Tennessee. I got to think Tennessee's going to come out and want to get a win. They looked pretty bad, so at home, I'll take Tennessee.
Before I continue, I got a question to ask you here. Your quarterback in the NFL, your center throws up on the football and then
Yeah, you got to stop the play. Stop the play.
Are you taking that football or are you spiking it?
Yeah, stop the play. What is the referee? And then I heard the referee like explained it like, next time, coach, do you want us to stop the play? Yeah. So disgusting.
I balls to the wall on just picking up the ball and running with it and cradling it. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
I might kick it out of bounds.
So gross. That was so gross, dude.
All right, next game on the list here. We have the Bears versus the Colts.
Colts?
Yeah, I'm with you on the Colts there. Also, too, on the previous one, the Packers or the Titans, I went with Packers. So I'm going opposite with you on that one. So
okay.
Up next, we have the Chargers versus the Steelers. Let's baby.
You know what? I'm going Steelers. I know the Chargers beat the Raiders last week. They put up a lot of numbers this week, but that was against Carolina. And the Steelers are always a sneaky team.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take the Steelers.
I'm going that Steelers train too. They're at home, so I just have a good feeling, good vibe with this one. Dolphins versus the Seahawks.
Oh my God.
Who's
the quarterback for the Dolphins?
A kid named it looks like his name is like Sky something. Skyler. Dolphin.
Oh.
His name
I'll take the Seahawks.
Okay. Oh, they also took the Dolphins have picked up Snoop Huntley off of the practice squad from the Ravens. So I still think it's going to be Skyler. I don't think it's going to be this kid, but
I'll take the Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks as well. So let's go ahead and lock those in. Up next is the Panthers versus the Raiders.
The Raiders.
I'm right there with you. An autumn wind.
You gotta beat the Panthers. You gotta come out and dominate. It's a get right game. It's your home opener. You cannot lay an egg. You have to win this game.
Yeah, I agree. Up next is the 49ers versus the Rams. They will not have Deebo Samuel.
I'm still taking the Niners. The Rams are beat to shit, and it's only week 3. I got to take the 49ers. With defensively, they're still a good team. I know they gave up some big plays against Minnesota. I got to think they're going to be buttoned up defensively and make some big plays. And I think even with the absence of Samuel, you still got other weapons. The 49ers win.
Alrighty. I think this is a sneaky good game here. I'm a little impressed by how both these teams, and kind of not impressed by one of these teams, but Lions versus the Cardinals. Obviously, these projections of these teams.
Or who'd you take? You took the Rams or the Niners?
Oh, I'm taking Niners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Obviously, the projection of these two teams have gone in opposite directions between the Lions and the Cardinals, but who you got here?
Man, I really like the Lions. But the Cardinals, we said it in the offseason, right before the regular season started. I think we all agreed that the Cardinals can be a real thorn in the side offensively and defensively. They're improving. I want the Lions to win, but I think the Cardinals get it done.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I went Cardinals on this one. I mean, the thrashing and the amount of points they've been putting up in the last 2 games, it's impressive.
And the Lions get big plays until they prove as a defense they can stop doing that. Hutchinson is a great defensive player. I think he leads the league in sacks.
I think he had 5.
Yeah, I think he leads the league with like 5 or 6 sacks already on the season. He's a beast. They got players on defense, but they still give up huge plays. And the Cardinals get a lot of chunk plays. They have that capability. So I
Mhm.
think that was going to come down to Cardinals.
Ravens versus Cowboys. I'm so excited that the Cowboys get the Ravens next week, just because the Ravens want this. They want this so bad, and I want the Cowboys to lose every chance they can.
Yeah, Ravens. I think Ravens come in pissed.
Yep.
They figure out how to use Derrick Henry. That was really their mistake in losing to the Raiders. Is like you didn't hand the ball off enough to Derrick Henry.
Hmm.
Um, Pretty much in the second half, you should have rode him all the way to Gravy Town. So that was a huge mistake. I think they get right and dismantle the Cowboys.
Chiefs versus. Oh, I went Ravens on this one. So Chiefs versus the Falcons. I know what you want to pick, but it's not gonna happen.
I gotta take the Chiefs. I would love the Falcons to win, but I think the Chiefs get this.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. And then we got two, count them, two Monday night games. The first one on the docket is Jags versus the Bills.
Got to take the Bills at home. Jaguars.
They look
I thought they would be a little better,
they look stinky.
but they look pretty bad. They look like they're regressing, and a situation is developing. I actually defended Doug Peterson when he got the job. Defended him pretty much up until this season, but they do not look good right now. So a situation is brewing with the head coach and the quarterback not taking that next step. You invest that much money into the starting quarterback. Lawrence was supposed to be big time superstar. It's his third year, I think now, and got to make that big step. Otherwise, heads are going to roll. But I don't think they start getting on a win streak right now. Bills.
Yeah, that story sounds really familiar with Doug Peterson. It's like I've seen that happen before.
At least he got one.
That's true. At least he got one. So
Not getting one in Jacksonville.
yeah. And then to end our Monday night game, we're going Commanders versus the Bengals. You have to believe the Bengals are getting
Bengals.
Yeah.
Bengals.
I'm right there with you.
They got to be upset too. They had the Chiefs right there on the ropes. It
Mhm.
was a pass interference call. The game didn't come down to that. That was definitely a pass interference call. It sucks. As a Raider fan, I've been on that end many, 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 many times. It
Mhm.
hurts. But it was a pass interference call. I think they get right here. Commanders, a lot of young talent. I think their future is going to be bright, but they're not ready for.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
And I wanted Jaden Daniels. That was the quarterback that I was hoping we would move up and get, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I have Scary Terry on one of my fantasy football teams, and it's rough sledding out here. We did talk about Tua's concussion here, so I think we can move on from that one. But you got any other news notes for the NFL coming next week, or anything else you want to mention? The Raiders, you got
Nah,
time?
just I would just love for them to get another win, get on a win streak,
Mm-hmm.
and not to look ahead against anything because nothing is given. But you do have opportunity to get some wins here. That when you do face the Chiefs, maybe you're only a 1 or 2 loss team. Um, you gotta execute perfectly. You're not a team that's going to be able to make all of these mistakes and get wins. So hopefully next week they put together a sound offense, defense, special teams win, and keep it competitive, keep it interesting. That's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Well, let's move on to the other style of field pitches here. Tim, if you'd be so kind, we're going to bring up news and notes of soccer here in Wrexham. So I have one picture of the Wrexham score from the EFL match they had with Salford City. They ended up winning that 2-1. Awesome. Love that. And then this afternoon, they played Birmingham City, which, by the way, I did not know that Undefeated is the sponsor for Birmingham jerseys. And I was like seeing the whole check mark thing. I was like, wow, that's cool. I didn't know that they were even in soccer. But they played this afternoon at 12 o'clock. And Wrexham got their asses handed to them. They lost 3-1 on this one. It was a battle of celebrity owners. Tom Brady was in town because he is part owner of the Birmingham Rovers, and then you had Rob McElhenney in the stands there. David Beckham was there, and a couple other celebrities were also there on hand too. But yeah, so currently it says 4-1. This is incorrect. They are now 4-1-1. They are now tied for first, no longer in first place. Next match is Saturday versus Crawley Town. And hey, just get right. Defensively, they look like shit. I was watching that game. Shout out, Mom. She got Paramount Plus, and so gave me the old password link up. So I got to watch the game this afternoon. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, like they seriously just couldn't get the ball out to their forwards. They would just kick it. It would go right into a defender, and that's how they gave up 2 goals. It was crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they go back to kicking school or something, but they were not being able to get it out of their end over there. So it is what it is. You get right. We move on to the next game, and we'll be good to go. So up next, we've got Bay FC. Shout out Vince. He did all the notes for me, so I don't have to struggle with this one so bad. But Bay FC gets a decision here, 1-1 against North Carolina Courage on Friday night. Oshawala scores in the 9th minute. Rachel Kundananji forces a turnover at midfield, pushes the ball up to Tespode, who then crosses the ball inside the 18-yard box, and then Oshawala finishes it out here to get the score there. Ashley Sanchez for North Carolina in the 28th minute equalizes it. It was a bad clearance from Emily Menges here. She was kicking it, turned over to Sanchez, and then makes Bay FC pay for it for the tying goal of the game there. So currently they are 8-1-11 with 25 points, 7th in the league here, which still is a playoff spot. Up next, they are playing Orlando Pride. So, hopefully ladies get it done here. We can get to see some playoff soccer in the Bay Area. That would be wonderful to see because, the Earthquakes aren't going to do it because what time it is? What time is it?
Buck John Fisher.
Buck John Fisher clock. Always, always, always. All right. I think we just have one last news here, Tim, if you'd be so kind here. Thursday morning, we woke up to some interesting news here. The Pac-12 officially has an agreement with Boise State, San Diego State, Fresno State, and Colorado State to join the conference beginning in 2026 to 2027. Washington State and Oregon State are the only 2 teams that are remaining in the current Pac-12, and they need to get 2 more teams to make it actual 12 here. So we were kind of flirting the idea of maybe San Jose State, maybe New Mexico, something along those lines. I also heard that USC and Cal and Stanford said that they would like to come back if the opening is available for them. Just kind of like, fuck you. Go play in the Atlantic Coast, you piece of shit.
But there's potentially they can't move until the contract is up.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other conferences that are going to court, and so a lot of these teams can't move because they're waiting for these court cases to get settled. But for Cal and Stanford, that's your dumbass fault for abandoning the conference because you could have stayed, and at minimum you only needed to add 2 more teams to have the minimum of what, 6 or 8?
8.
So you would have been there. You would have been a legit conference right all over again. So that's their dumbass fault. You abandoned the pack. So I'm excited for it to come back. I'm not sitting here saying I'm the biggest college football fan, but I do believe in certain tradition, and I think it was a good tradition to have this conference and everything that came along with it. So I'm juiced for the new teams. Honestly, I'm kind of rooting for them, and I'm interested in supporting them and watching them. So I feel like it's a new era, and kind of fuck these other teams.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they don't, fall back into mediocrity here and actually get some good TV deals and make this conference, what it used to be, So unfortunately, you don't have Cal and Stanford into it, but they made their own decisions, man. You got to deal with it. So hopefully San Jose State gets into it. That would be fun to watch. I think I could easily see myself catching some San Jose State games here every once in a while. So we'll see,
Absolutely.
All right, brother. Well, I don't have anything else for the show unless you got something for us.
All right.
That's how fast this show was.
I prepared a 2-hour monologue on all things sports. So
Let's
here we
do it.
go. No, I don't got much, man. I was kind of invested in the football weekend, and it turned out great. Unfortunately, the 49ers, I was hoping the 49ers would win to keep the stakes high. I got family members that are 49er fans, and so it's not all bad blood on my end. Um, it was just another exciting weekend in football, man. It like
Yeah.
hogged up the news, hogged up the attention.
One thing I did want to mention that you were texting us the other week here. It seems like Howard Terminal. That's what's the update on that situation with that site now?
Yeah, so actually the city of the Port Authority is accepting applications to redevelop the site. So what does that mean? They're getting in line.
Yeah.
So there's commercial, there's real estate, residential. Um, a lot of the things that were passed, the environmental impact report, some things still transfer over. There's still federal and state funds dedicated to the site. So there's still, 500, $600 million dedicated in shoreline and traffic and, things like that to make the site workable. Additionally, the current Oakland Coliseum site is finally under one roof.
Yeah.
AASEG, African American Sports and Entertainment Group. It's been interesting about that. I had a few people reach out to me asking me how I felt about AASEG. Um, I don't really have any like personal feelings. Like I don't really know what some people were asking of me. I think there was like maybe concern about why it was an African American group. That
Hmm.
didn't really bother me all that much. At the end of the day, I just want to see the location developed and is a healthy place for all of Oakland. Obviously, I hope somewhere in the city of Oakland that there's a sports team, a baseball team. There's talk that now that the city is out of the picture for the current site, that there's actually talk about the A's coming back and playing in the city of Oakland, possibly next year or the year after that. I know they're saying that the Sacramento schedule is final, but you could easily move those dates to the city of Oakland. The airport is right there.
Yeah.
It's to me, it's really, the MLB is paying millions of for schedulers and scenarios and backup scenarios to those. So to move that quickly to put them back in Oakland, let's say next year, it wouldn't really surprise me. I'm not counting on it. I'm just saying it wouldn't really surprise me because you've gotten the county out of the way, you got the city out of the way. That site is now clear to be redeveloped, whatever. And then you have the same thing with Howard Terminal. So you're going to have two sites that are ready for development. And if you look at AASEG website, they're into a lot of things. They want to get a football team. They talk about an NFL team back in the city of Oakland. I don't know how likely that's going to happen. Um, Seems like they want to get into a lot of different sports and entertainment things. But two sites, man, it's huge for the city, for the county to see what happens next. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, not necessarily a deep dive into it, but I'm excited on what's
Well,
going to happen next.
to shed some light on the Sacramento situation here.
Oh boy.
MLB announced last week, I think it was, the A's are playing in Sacramento. It's official. The MLB's put their foot down. Problem is, the Players Association has not agreed to that. So they're still going back and forth over details on how to make the Sacramento site work. So I know that the schedule's done in Sacramento, and like you and I said, it could be moved. It's not out of the question that it could be. I mean, if they can't come to an agreement, they're not going to suspend games just because they can't come to an agreement, right? So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, the Players Association, they're still sitting on this, and Scott Boras, who is, arguably one of the craziest agents to ever have, as far as how he does his dealings, but he lives in the area, and he's come out and said that like players don't want to play there. You know, there's no reason why anybody wants to go dive for a ball on turf when it's 100 degrees outside and the turf is like 120 degrees. You know what I mean? So I don't know how they're going to do this. I think it's funny because I know that John didn't pay a dime to have the field renovated, or the offsite for the dugout to be done. That was all done from his friend that owns the Sacramento Kings. So um, if this blows up again and they did all this renovation for nothing, it's just crazy. It just goes to show you how much of a clown he really
Well, it's
is.
just I if you're a visiting team, like
Yeah.
like how would you feel as a visit? Like technically, the home team should have the better locker rooms because they're the home team.
Hmm.
But then you're the visiting team, and you're in these crappy like AAA dugouts and locker rooms and training facilities, and things are just not up to MLB standards.
Hmm.
Like if you're a superstar and on visiting team, why would you sign the PA deal?
Exactly.
Is MLB gonna pay me more money to play in this stadium? And I do think there's I think some players are not gonna care because it's like a temporary thing, but I do think some players care. So I don't think it's an easy victory either way. If I'm The Yankees have been one of the big boy franchises that have already complained about this.
Hmm.
Um, why would you want to play here? I wouldn't.
Oh,
I'd never
because you
play.
you get to see Aaron Judge hit home runs in your park.
Right. Yeah, then the pricing model came out where like you have to pay for 3 seasons of seats at the South Stadium. It's actually more expensive than having season tickets in Sacramento than Oakland, so it's like this is crazy. And I get because it's the pre-sale, you get like perks, you get food and beer and like stuff with it. And they have to try to make up their money somehow because there's less seating. But honestly, do you think this is a team that is do you think John Fisher is gonna start adding? Are you gonna be able to add free agents to
I
come
you
and
know
play at
I
Southern?
was thinking that. I don't think this might be. So the White Sox GM has come out and he said that they're not planning to open up the checkbook at all for free agents. They're going to try and develop their farm system, which is like 11th, and it's not that it's not where it should be for a team that's that bad. They have like 36 wins, right? So um, I wonder if the A's are going to be that way because they have no choice. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they can't sign anyone because nobody wants to play there. So
And then if so for 3 years you're gonna play in Sacramento, potentially not have the ability to sign any key free agents. It's not like the management of the A's goes out and signs key free agents. They don't spend a lot of money. They have some young talent right now. They're rebuilding, but you're saying in 3 years you're not going to add to that, and that you think all of this talent is going to just arrive the year that you go to Las Vegas and not add any players. I think players are going to remember that. I
yeah.
think fans are going to remember that. Um, we were talking about the Raiders earlier, but one of their own reporters was saying like, the Raider fans travel well, but none of them travel from Las Vegas.
Yeah.
It's from everywhere else.
Yeah.
So like when the A's go to Las Vegas, you're going to have the problem of it being a destination city, which the Raiders are contending with. But at least Raider fans travel in. They
Yeah.
travel on the road. You're not going to see traveling A's fans for a Las Vegas athletics organization. Like you're not going to have the fan base, and you're not going to have players who want to participate with this franchise because of the dog and pony show that this owner is putting them through.
Hmm.
And what's sickening is I don't think any fans are upset with the city of Sacramento or Las Vegas trying to get an MLB team. I think more teams is actually healthy. I think it would be better that there was a team in Sacramento and Las Vegas. It would make it a lot more exciting, a lot more fun. But to go about it this way is the way of the dinosaur. It doesn't work.
It's true. I mean, I can't imagine a pitcher wanting to pitch in a ballpark 100 degrees and just giving up home run after home run in
No.
a AAA stadium. You know what I mean? Like, just it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's always fuck John Fisher. So, all right. Well, with that, I would just like to let everyone know that you are listening to the SVT podcast. Subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell to get alerts
Thanks,
when we go
guys.
live. Follow us on Instagram and Threads at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into the DMs. We would love to interact with you guys, and let's see how fast we can get to 100 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? You guys have a good night.